Yes, indeed. Man must know thyself, and knowledge reigns supreme over everything. And this is indeed a classic. Shout out to all my new subscribers and peace to all my universal family. I'm back with another book review, the classic, Carter G. Woodson, The Miseducation of the Negro. This has been around for a while, so let's get into it. I'm back with another book review. Let's kick it.
I been official, big dog in the yard, voting more likely to murder every birthday I start.
Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on my book review playlist. I got some classics on there. You might want to go ahead and check it out, man. So subscribe to the channel and click on my book review playlist. Let's kick it. Now, I'm about to civilize the whole classroom. The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. Yo, just check out the front cover. See that? Over 500,000 in print, like an old rap album. So, this has been around for a while, and I'm pretty sure this probably got over 1 million printed by now. I'm pretty sure. This is indeed a classic, and from the beginning, let me tell you that I like it because it was first printed in 1933. And if you know me, right, I just like listening to that old school knowledge and looking at that old school knowledge. Yeah, I like getting to the perspective of that old school, our elders and our ancestors. I like to see how they was talking and, their jargon and the words that they were using to describe, their paradigm and the things that they were going through. So just automatically when I see first printed and I see it, especially from one of our old school black authors, and when I see it's from a long, long time ago, I automatically get intrigued because, I like the wordplay, of our elders and our ancestors. So this was first printed in 1933. And like I said, over 500,000 in print, like a rap album or R&B album. But, just since I know I got this from a bookstore, they probably don't keep track of just all the sales of the books. I know this off topic or whatever, but some of these books be bootleg and everything. So this been floating around, and your daddy probably got it, your uncle probably got it, or even your mother or your auntie or whatever may have it in their collection or in that bookshelf. Like I got it in mine. I gave this to my son, when he turned 18, I think. So it's been around for a while. I read it like twice, but this is indeed a classic. And let's get into it. So we all know people of my age, that's approaching our culture cipher. So we know about Lauryn Hill and the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That classic rap album or R&B album. This is where it came from, the Miseducation of the Negro. And the Miseducation of the Negro, that's been floating around for a while, obviously from this book. But it's just not a cliche topic or a quote. This book is really how the Negro was miseducated. I mean, truly, truly miseducated. He talks about it from the school system all the way to the so-called educated Negro, to the church, the political system, everything in between. It's covered in this book, and it was first printed in 1933. So the same thing that was going on then still goes on today. And this is very, very interesting, And how I get down with my book reviews. I like to pull out topics that are interesting and informative to me. Everybody gets different things out of books and see things from a different angle or different perspective. And that's the beautiful thing about books. And that's what I think makes it art. So these are my views on this book. So let's roll. And he starts out talking about education. Most of what these universities have offered as language, mathematics, and science may have served a good purpose, but much of what they have taught as economics, history, literature, religion, and philosophy is propaganda and a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? That's true. The children from the homes of white planters and merchants live permanently in the midst of calculations, family budgets, and the like, which enable them sometimes to learn more by contact than the Negro can acquire in school. That's that at-home training. That's paying the bills with your mom and your dad, or your dad may run a business and you know how your dad runs his business. Your mom may have a at-home job or a side hustle, or even just watching her pay the bills and take care of the family as a woman, and just things like that, man. You just always in the midst when you can keep your kids in contact with that. And he's speaking in front of perspective of most Negro kids, or so-called Negro kids, don't see that at home, but the other race does. And that gives you an edge. That gives you an edge. That's basically on the job training and economics and things like that. So that was interesting to me. Now check this out. This is very interesting in regards to miseducating the Negro and giving them that trick knowledge. Negroes attended industrial schools, took such training as was prescribed, and received their diplomas, but few of them developed adequate efficiency to be able to do what they were supposedly trained to do. Boy, that is a waste of time. That's giving somebody some trick education, like, I'm going to show you how to do this, right? And I'm going to give you a certificate or a diploma saying that you know how to do this, but we ain't going to give you all the knowledge of it. But them other people, they gonna get it. That's messed up. Now check this one about what they don't teach in class. You might study the history as it was offered in our system from the elementary school throughout the university, and you will never hear Africa mentioned except in the negative. You will never thereby learn that Africans first domesticated the sheep, goat, and cow, developed the ideal of trial by jury, and produced the first stringed instruments, and gave the world its greatest boom in the discovery of iron. Never heard that. I never heard that about Africa when I was coming up in the classroom. I don't remember seeing that in the books. And this was in 1933, so it still ain't going on now, and that was damn near 100 years ago. Now this one was real, and I call this one the prodigal son. The Negro boy sent to college by a mechanic seldom dreams of learning mechanical engineering to build upon the foundation his father has laid, that in years to come he may be a figure as a contractor or a consulting engineer. The Negro girl who goes to college hardly wants to return to her mother if she is a washerwoman, but this girl shall come back with the sufficient knowledge of physics and chemistry and business administration to use her mother's work as a nucleus for a modern steam laundry. Yo, man, that's real. That's like you not following in your father's footsteps, but building upon what your father, kind of laid down. And that's deep. That's deep. And that's real. That's prodigal son style. That's what I call it. Now, our great elders, they always had something to say about the black church. Whether they be for it or whether they be against it, they had something to say about it. So, I like to read their perspective on what they thought about the black church. Check this one. The Negro church, however, although not a shadow of what it ought to be, is the greatest asset of the race. It is a part of the capital that the race must invest in to make its future. The Negro church has taken the lead in education in the schools of the race. It has supplied a farm for the thought of the highly educated Negro. It has originated a large portion of the business controlled by the Negroes, and in many cases it had made it possible for Negro professional men to exist. That's what we talk about, the Negro church. That's real. Oh man, that's a different way of looking at that. That's why I like to read books from the great elders. Oh man, but you had something to say about the bootlicking church thumpers. In chameleon-like fashion, the Negro has taken up almost everything religious, which has came along instead of thinking for himself. Man must know that's up. That's real. Not to say that you can't get into religion and find yourself, and start to know thyself. But that's real. The black man will take up everything. Now this section was about mind control. If you can't control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his action. When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. If you make a man feel that he is inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior status, for he will seek it for himself. If you make a man think that he is just an outcast, you do not have to order him to the back door. He will go without being told, and if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one. Yo, that's deep, man. That's deep. But let me say this about that. As a man thinketh. I don't know when that book was written, As a Man Thinketh. I don't know when that was first printed and copyrighted. But this is definitely As a Man Thinketh. Oh man. But this is a good one in regards to leadership and a different way to looking at it, If the Negro could abandon the ideal of leadership and instead stimulate a larger number of the race to take up definite tasks and sacrifice their time and energy in doing these things efficiently, the race may accomplish something. The race needs workers, not leaders. Such workers will solve the problems which race leaders talk about and raise money to enable them to talk more and more about. When you hear a man talking, then always inquire as to what he is doing or what he has done for humanity. And right under that, it may be well to repeat here the saying that old men talk of what they have done, young men of what they are doing, and fools of what they expect to do. Boy, cold peace, man. Cold blooded demonstration by the OG. Yeah, man, but put that one in your arsenal. Now this one is about the agents and the agent provocateurs. Some planted in the community and some just give it up willfully. The enemies of the race, for example, will find a Negro willing to do certain things they desire to have accomplished and will finance him and give him sufficient publicity to get before the world. Man, don't that sound like what they call them, super chats and the donations and all them false prophets, and men of color and people that look like me who giving out all that fake knowledge and fake game. Don't that sound like a couple of them? You know what I'm saying? I could start naming. Sound like y'all got planted for real though. But this was way back in 1933, and he was talking about it. Now check this one out. This one was deep. Philosophers have long conceded, however, that every man has two educations, that which is given to him and the other that which he gives himself. Of the two kinds, the latter is by far the most desirable. Indeed, all that is most worthy in men he must work out and conquer for himself. What we are merely taught seldom nourishes the mind like that which we teach ourselves. What we are merely taught seldom nourishes the mind like that which we teach ourselves. Man, know that self. That was deep, man. That was deep. This is a good book, man. I'm going to just pull out a couple more. The effort of the Negro to interpret man's relation to the universe shows just as much intelligence as we find in the philosophy of the Greeks. Man, y'all know where they got that from. That's real. Y'all know exactly where they got that from. Their conception is that you go to school to find out what other people have done, and then you go out in life and imitate them. What they have done can be done by others, they contend, and they are right. They are wrong, however, in failing to realize what others have done, others may not need to do. That's a cold piece, boy. That is time management. That's mind management. That's knowledge management. And that is The Miseducation of the Negro, the classic by Carter G. Woodson. This the bearded Heru. Yo, like I said, go check out that book review playlist. And go check out them other videos, cause them some cold pieces. But go check out that book review playlist and go see what I got going on over there. This the Bearded Heru. This my book review on Carter G. Woodson, The Miseducation of the Negro. Yo, go ahead and like and subscribe so you can come on and vibe with your guy. You know, I'm digging in the crates. Like I said, I don't know what's been going on. It might be them workouts. It might be, I don't know what's going on, man. But I've been digging in them crates. I got plenty fat on my head and I got plenty more book reviews coming. It's the Bearded Heru and everything is real. Peace.
Official, big dog in the yard, voted most likely to murder every birthday I start. So as soon as I